Hi, in this Chordious tutorial, I'm going to show how to extend the Chord Finder's functionality by adding new chord qualities with the Chord Quality Manager. This tutorial assumes that you already have Chordious installed and that you've played around with the Chord Finder. If you haven't done so, you should follow the tutorial for installing Chordious and finding chords with the Chord Finder before watching this video. Otherwise, without further ado, let's get started. So let's say I'm in the Chord Finder. Open this up. I have my instrument and tuning set to a guitar, standard tuning. And let's say I'm trying to play a song that requires me to play a C dominant minor ninth chord. So I go over here, I bring down the list of chord qualities that are built into Chordious, and I start looking. So I look in there, dominant, I see dominant ninth, I see diminished minor ninth, but I don't see dominant minor ninth. Well, the good thing about Chordious is it's not finding chords based on a database or library of chords that it knows about. It's actually using math and music theory to find the chords on the fretboard. So it's very easy to teach Chordious new chord qualities that it's not aware of, and it will then be able to find chords of those qualities. So to do that, you need to go into the Chord Quality Manager, which we get to by clicking this little pencil, this little edit icon next to the list of chord qualities. If I click on that, it brings up the Chord Quality Manager. You can see down here is that same list of the built-in default qualities that come with Chordious. And up here it's currently blank, but here's where we can add our own custom chord qualities. But to just show you what the editor is going to look like, I'm going to go down here and go down to the major chord. Now if I double click on that, you'll see that we have the chord quality editor. We have the name of the chord, which you'll see in the list. The abbreviation is whatever gets written after the root note on the diagram itself. And then down here you have intervals and an example in C. So for the case of a C major chord, we have the notes C, E, and G. And these are constructed from these intervals. So these intervals are given in half steps above the root note. So 0 being the root note itself gives us C. You go 4 half steps to get the major third, there's E. And if you go 7 half steps from 0 from the root, the 7 half steps will give you a perfect fifth, which is the G. So you can see right here, you can't edit this because it's a built-in chord quality, but just as an example, here's your C major chord. It's not specific to the note, it's just giving an example here in C, and these are the intervals, these are the half steps needed to construct that chord quality. So we're going to close this out, and we're going to go over here to the user qualities, and we have a plus button to create a new user quality, or we can always right-click and hit new down here, right in the right-click menu. But for right now, I'm just going to click on new here, and here I want to create a dominant minor ninth. Now, usually, this is going to, if you don't know what a dominant minor ninth is, it means you probably have to do a little bit of research. In this case, I'm going to bring up Wikipedia with its section on chord names and symbols. And if I look over here, we have a dominant minor ninth. So typically, the abbreviation that goes after the root note is a 7 flat 9. So abbreviation here, I'm going to do 7 flat 9. And it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intervals. So I can go over here, we have a plus and a minus. So I'm going to add 5 intervals. And you can see they all start at 0, and so in C, that's just all C root notes. So we start off with a C, 0, that's fine. Dominant minor ninth here. This table thankfully gives us what the next note would be in C. It's going to be an E, which is the major third. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 in there. And you'll see that immediately updates the example. So now it's C, E. And very quickly I can just follow my way up. So this will be 7, then with the perfect fifth, give you that G. Yeah, we have a B flat and a D flat. So that means this is going to be 11. Oh, that's a B, so change that to 10. Right now it's a B flat, and that makes this, let's see, 13. Yep, and there's a D flat. So now I can verify I have dominant minor ninth. Here's my dominant minor ninth. I've put in all the intervals in half steps. Sometimes you'll if you know what the half steps are, that's great. Sometimes you may find examples that are only given in the notes, in which case you have to kind of reverse engineer it like I just did. Because you have the example right here in C, you can very easily look and go, oh, and match up the notes. So we have C, E, G, B flat, D flat. Okay, that's all correct. I hit OK. Now we have a new user quality called dominant minor ninth. If I close this and go back into the chord finder, I go under qualities and scroll up to the top, and here are the user qualities that I've added. So all the default chord qualities will be kept under here, but I can click dominant minor ninth and I can search. And there we go. Now I can find the C dominant minor ninth chord in Chordious on this tuning. And the cool thing is, by adding in the definition of the quality itself and the intervals that it uses, I can now find dominant minor ninth chords on any instrument, on any tuning, and with any root note. If I want to find D7 flat 9, I can search here, and Chordious will find those with a D root note. So the power of the chord qualities is that we have a ton that are already built in, but if you find ones that just aren't there, you can add them in and search for them on any instrument. It doesn't have to be guitar and standard tuning. It can be on any of the tunings or instruments that are in Chordious. The built-in ones are ones that you've added yourself. One final thing about the chord qualities is that another thing you may do is, let's say you decide you don't like the abbreviations for the existing built-in ones. So if I go to edit here, bring up the chord quality manager, and we'll go to major again. So for default, if I open this up, you'll see that the abbreviation shows nothing. But let's say you actually prefer to actually see the letters MAJ for major as the abbreviation. So if you wanted to, you could create your own custom chord quality just with a different abbreviation, right? So if I go create a new chord quality, and I can do major abbreviation, name it whatever I want. Let's say I wanted that to be major, and I can add the 3 notes. Again, 0, 4, 7. Verify, yep, that's a C major chord. Now I have it with MAJ, and I can hit OK. Right, so now if I go back into the chord finder, rather than using the major that is built into Chordious, I can use the major that I just created. While technically, mathematically, it's going to find the exact same chords. Now when I search, it has a different abbreviation. So that's another function of the chord quality manager, is that if you don't like how things are written, say you want to use a symbol instead of augmented, and so on and so forth, you can create your own custom chord qualities with different abbreviations, and you can just copy the same intervals, and that is completely supported. All right, I hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching.